Alright guys, we're back with more Final Fantasy. Yeah, we're gonna do this mission. This is gonna be a pretty unprofessional one, I think. I think I'm gonna listen to the podcast and be eating a bag of chips, so... Yeah. Yeah, let's finish this with the Big Brother Canada round table.
Maybe the jury decides, you know what? We want this person to represent our season as like
don't give a
this,
shit about this.
brutal game
Fucking
season.
fishing mission.
So we really don't know, and until we like really hear from the jury together, I think it's just hard to predict.
Okay.
I could also see though Victoria being like, I just want it to be as chaotic as possible, so the least likely person to win.
Pick a number 1 through 10.
Oh god, no! Anything but that. Anything but that. Like have like a reason.
So you know she might do that.
Just like
Something like that.
No, for like why you're voting a certain way and not just like they picked the number. Like no.
Okay, here's my easily digestible prediction. I think that no matter what happens with the final 4 vote, I think the winner of the final 3 HOH also wins the game, except for one scenario, and that is Ty winning and taking Brayden. I think that is the only spot where the winner of the final 3 HOH may not win. That is the only situation. I think in every other scenario, the winner of the final 3 HOH definitely wins the game, except for that one spot. He may still win the game, but he may also not win the game.
He may win the game, but he also may not.
Yes. So that's the only one where it's up in the air to me. Again, I think that the votes there would come down to Ro, Vic, Bertina. I think would be the 4 votes Ty needs, unless he somehow manages to get Jed and Beth back over to his side. But I think in every other scenario, the winner of that final 3 HOH goes on to win the game, which makes this incredibly difficult to predict.
Well, and also maybe even the questions that they have in that final 3 thing, I can see, say it's maybe about jury's opinions or what the jury thinks, and if say Ty's in the end and he gets them so wrong, especially if it's like if he gets like Beth and Jed's wrong, I can see like that also influencing their votes, being like he doesn't even know us, like he doesn't even know like how we would vote or how we would be thinking here. Like I can see if he doesn't do well with that, it would be definitely really against his game. So I think that depending on what the final 3 jury thing, if it is a jury thing, could definitely affect the votes.
All right. Well, okay. So that was the jury prediction stuff. I asked the audience also to rate the episodes of Big Brother Canada this week. I gave the episode a 6.4, down from the 6.5 last week. I asked them to rate the feeds. A 3.6, up from the 2.2 last week. I think just because the feeds were more expected to be down this time. I asked them to rate the season as a whole so far, and it has gone up to a 7.8 from the 7.3 last week. As the season starts to wrap up, people are feeling a little bit better about it, and it's a 7.8 right now. Not used to seeing a season being rated so high. In these Stockwatch surveys. I asked the audience to rank the players from their favorite to their least favorite, and that means that we're going to play the guessing game here.
Well, this is where you shine. This is where you shine.
Yes.
This is my moment. This is it. I haven't done well in the past 2 weeks, but I'm very good at this.
Okay, guys, who do you think is the favorite player of these 4?
I got it.
Tara?
I think it's Tara.
I think it's Tara.
You are both incorrect.
It's gonna be Ty or Brayden.
It's Ty. It's Ty. Ty is the favorite player.
Wow,
yes.
okay.
Because he's so handsome. It's true.
Who is in second place?
Tara.
Why the fuck are they grabbing it?
Tara.
You are both
Underdog?
incorrect.
Oh, it's Brayden. Come on.
Brayden is in
These
second
people are
place.
fucking
So
idiots.
they like the Brayden Ty.
They like Brayshawn. Who is in third place?
Now Tara.
Tara?
A broken clock is right. Once in the Stockwatch player service. Tara is third and Kiefer is last. You theoretically could have done worse, but it would have been difficult.
Hey, we got half right. Gotta give us that.
I asked the audience to rank the players in order of who they think has played the best game over the course of the season to who they think has played the worst game. Would you guys like to guess this one as well?
I think it's Kiefer, Ty, Tara, Brayden.
I will agree with
and
that.
And that's the right answer, just so you know. So if it's wrong, it's
unless they give Tara some points of winning so many times and saving herself, she may bump up one. But
that would be wrong.
So I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, it would be wrong. Like, we would still be right.
You guys are correct on this one. That is exactly the order, and very cleanly too. It looks like nice little even stepping stairs. It's very not even close. It's a very distinct order here. Kiefer, Ty, Tara, Brayden. Who should Ty want evicted in the final four? Brayden or Kiefer? What do you guys say?
He should.
Kiefer.
Oh, that's hard because I feel like he should want Kiefer because I think Kiefer would win, but I also think Brayden would win. So, but I do feel like Kiefer wins in each scenario. So like I think he should want Kiefer gone.
I think that Ty can see himself beating. I think he believes that he beats Brayden hands down, no problem. And I do think that he feels as though Kiefer would be a problem to beat in the end, even though he's probably confident that both of them would take him to the end. I think that evicting Kiefer, it's 100% Brayden's taking him, even though it might not be in Brayden's necessarily best interest. I think he's more confident with having Brayden take him. So I think Kiefer's the move.
See, I actually do feel like he should want Brayden. Because
feel some votes.
Again, based on my jury predictions, right? If I'm right, then this is what I think is. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong here too. But I think that if Ty wins the final 3 HOH and cuts Kiefer and takes Tara, I think he wins 100% of the time. If he wins the final 3 HOH and cuts Tara to take Brayden, I think he wins 50% of the time. And those are the 2 scenarios where he wins the game. In the scenario where Brayden wins the final 3 HOH and takes Ty, I think that he maybe wins like 10% of that time. I really think that Brayden would win in that spot. And we know that Tara will cut Ty for Brayden, but if Kiefer's there, we know Tara will cut Kiefer for Ty. Tara wins the game or wins the HOH and cuts Kiefer, then I think she does beat Ty most of the time. But either way, you're looking at a spot where Ty probably needs to win the final 3 HOH to win the game. I'm going to say again that Brayden performs better than Kiefer, so if you're competing against Kiefer, that's better odds that you're going to win. And then, if Ty is the one to cut Kiefer in the final 3 and take Tara, I think he wins more often than if he's the one that cuts Tara to take Brayden. So I actually think it's better for him that Brayden leave. The audience, though, is with you guys. They very much disagree. 90% of them think that Kiefer is the right move.
Well, we also don't know what the final 3 competition's going to be, and Kiefer could win it. Like maybe he's just thinking that he's bad at these games in the end. Maybe this is like his reverse psychology playing out. I just feel though is that he is more comfortable with having Brayden in the final 2 and maybe having arguments laid out against Brayden, and I think that he's going to be able to formulate his story a little bit better, and so I think that that's why he would be more wanting to be sitting beside Brayden, because I think he feels more in control of the story arc of that dynamic.
I think once again this season is tricky because it's like usually we can say like definitively, if this person takes this person, they win. If this person takes this person, they lose. Like, that's just the way it is, and it's shocking that they can't see that. Like, that the house guests aren't seeing that.
Right, I just want to see
it could really go either way, and I could see the logic behind taking either
what the guide says
to the final. So it's like, I really don't know. I don't feel like I can give a great prediction for this because I don't know myself, and I'm sitting here on the outside. So I don't know what they're thinking on the inside. It's got to be a tough decision.
Yeah, and I want to say that, like, I think it's better that Kiefer stays for Ty's game and Tara's game. I think it's much more clear-cut for Tara than it is Ty, because I absolutely can see the argument of, again, our jury predictions could be wrong. Mine could be wrong. Maybe if Brayden wins and takes Ty, Ty still wins, and in that case, it's definitely better to have Brayden in the game, right? If I were in Ty's spot, I will freely admit I probably would not have the courage to want Brayden evicted and give up my definite 2 and 3 chance for a different 2 and 3 chance where, again, if I think
guess based on the
Ty is
guide,
more likely to be Brayden taking him to the end than Tara taking him to the end. So there is a give and a take here for sure.
This is a difficult thing to do.
Who should Tara evict? Now, you guys have heard my argument. I know that there's plenty of people who also think that that Kiefer should be the one that she evicts.
This is the best one
what
to
do you
use.
guys think? Do you think she should evict Brayden
All
or
the ones we
Kiefer?
have.
I think Brayden for sure, just because of that. She knows that those two are going to be taking each other. Like, I know that Brayden's kind of saying, like, no, I would take you. Oh, I know I need to cut Ty. But then at the same time, they're giggling about, like, oh, does he like me? So, like, no way that it's going to happen. She's not going to cut Ty. And so I think she should just take the risk that, okay, yes, maybe Kiefer can beat you in the end, but you have a better shot at getting the 20 grand at least with Kiefer in the game. And so I think that just odds-wise, yeah, she should be cutting Brayden, even though it seems as though she could beat Brayden more likely, and she just has less odds that she's going to get to the end to be even in that position, unless she does it herself. And so if she has to win the final 3 anyways, she might as well have to win and have better odds that somebody takes her if she doesn't.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think it's like, yeah, as much as normally we're like, oh, don't play for second place, play for first. It's like, in this situation, it really could go either way. Like, it's not like a definitive, oh, she only gets second place if she keeps Kiefer around. Like, that's not the case at all. Like, she absolutely could still win, but at least she gets second. Like, at least it's not a, oh, you're third or you're first. It's you're either second or first. So you might as well do that option.
Yes.
Yeah, I forget, you don't have the
audience
bash, dude. You
does
just have to
agree.
hold.
54% said evict Brayden. About 45% said evict Kiefer. So it's still very close. I'm willing to bet that the general populace is very much on board with evicting Kiefer here. And that maybe it was only this close because they've heard me say this about 15 times on podcasts at this point.
Was that it?
Who do you think
Oh,
Tara
shit.
evicted?
Oh, I didn't even know that was the right
Do you
one.
actually think she
I was really
went
lucky.
ahead and evicted? If you had to guess, who is the guess here?
Kiefer.
Yeah, I think she evicted Kiefer because I think the last thing in her mind is Kiefer being like, yeah, I will beat you. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Then no, goodbye. If that's what you think, then bye. Like, it's just, that's the last thing she had, and so, yeah.
Yeah. 82% of the audience
Give him
think that Tara evicted Kiefer. I asked the audience, who do you want to be evicted this week? Who do you prefer to go home between Kiefer and Brayden? What do you guys think?
Go ahead.
No, I agree. I know what you're going to say.
I prefer Brayden to go, even though I really... we said it at the beginning of the podcast, so that Kiefer deserves to be there, and I do think that he deserves to get at least to the final 3, because it is his dream. He is a super fan. He has been playing the most strategic this whole season. I feel as though I would be really excited to see how this final 3 shakes out.
Who is that guy? I know that voice actor.
In this case, like, yes, I'll be fine with anybody that wins, but I think it just might be more dynamic if Kiefer were still in the game, and I just feel like he's just a little bit more deserving
Save that for later.
of a player to be sitting in the final 3.
The audience disagrees with you guys, but only barely. 52% prefer
Of course
Kiefer
they do.
evicted.
Well, it's just because he's being so egotistical, and they just wanted him to get his, like, get it, like, you know.
Yeah.
Well, it's also, I think, because of this next question. I asked the audience, who do you want the final 2 to be? Who is your ideal final 2? And the winner of this one, by a decent margin here, with 34% of the vote, the audience wants to see a Brayshawn final 2.
Of course they do.
Really?
Yeah.
I want to see
You know what,
Kiefer
let's-
and Ty in the final 2.
Kiefer and Ty was second to last.
Great. Well, fine. Of course. No, honestly, I mean, I would like to see those two because I do think that they played the best games out of the Final Four.
Oh, can I not fast travel? Shit. I was when I was gonna fast travel.
I think Tara wants it a lot too. Don't get me wrong, but I do feel like it's been like a turn on in the second half of the game kind of thing, where I do feel like Ty and Kiefer have been playing the whole time, especially Kiefer.
So I'm of two minds because, like, yes, like I'm mad at Ty and Kiefer for how they did this to Jed and how Ty was taking care of Beth. But at the same time, though, I also want them to be rewarded for just doing something that was like dynamic and that could have potentially been like a game-changing move. Like, they took a chance and they made a shot, and so like I want them to get their comeuppance. But I also
kind of
want
reason
them
I was
to
doing this.
still try. And so I would want to see, I think, in that scenario, Ty and Kiefer, just because, like, I want to see at least if they're going to go against their friends like this, that they got to Final Two together. It was worth it for them in the end. So I'm kind of waffling as the season people do, but if I was really to look at it game strategy-wise, I would want them to be the Final Two.
This is kind of an interesting vote. So way out in front is Ty and Braden, 34%. In second place, in second to fifth place, all within 15 to 19%. So very, very close. But Ty and Tara is in second place with 19%. Tara and Braden in third place with 15%. So any final two that involves Kiefer is in the bottom half, the bottom three.
They just don't like Kiefer?
Yes. The first of which is Kiefer and Tara at 15%. Second, which is fifth place, Ty and Kiefer with about 14%. And then in last place, a severe
there's Arden, I'm a fucking idiot.
Kiefer and Braden with 1%.
Yeah,
they don't want to see us there at all.
Yeah, that's not a good one. For whatever reason.
Just dramatic. It's like Ty and Braden stole all of the Kiefer and Braden votes.
So bizarre.
It's really strange.
Worst combo.
I guess people are saying it's impossible because they're both going to be. That's why. Okay, that makes sense. It was more fun in my head, guys. But I guess to explain it.
Yeah, come on.
It's look. This is what you want. What do you want to have happen? It's not. You can create the impossible here. I gave you the scenario. All right. I asked, who do you hope wins?
Let's just do the dungeon that I should have done.
The game. So this is an interesting. We know the order of favorites. We know the order of who's played the best game. What is the order of who do you hope wins the game? What is it for you?
Do I hope wins the game? I think probably Ty.
I
think it's. Kiefer, Ty. I think it's 1 to 2.
Kiefer, Ty.
Yeah. Then Tara.
Gameplay order.
Like I don't know. It's like Tara would be a worse winner, but I really just don't like how Braden played this game. Or like at least Tara did things. Like even though she failed at doing a lot of those things, at least she fucking.
Oh, interesting. Well, then I just said exactly what am I answering? Like I literally didn't even.
Who do you hope wins the game?
I could have just said nothing.
Okay, because I'm the two minds thing. Okay, as a person that likes strategy, I would hope that Kiefer was doing what it takes to get him to the end and win. I wanted to see that outcome, and so that would be my ideal situation: is if he did what it takes to get to the end and win.
Sure.
I don't think that that's what's going to happen, but that's what I think I want to have happen if the season went the way that it should have. I think that the audience in this scenario is going to want Ty to win. I think that they enjoyed the dynamics of him cutting his friends, and that he's been ruthless in the end, and that they love the love story between him and Braden. And so I think
what love story is there?
They feel as though Ty is being super strategic here, and so I think that they're going to want him to take the win.
Yes. Okay. So just as a reminder, the favorite list, the audience favorites are Ty, Braden, Tara, Kiefer. Who they think is playing the best game is Kiefer, Ty, Tara, Braden. Who do they hope wins the game is Ty, Tara, Kiefer, Braden.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So it's similar to us, where it's like we like Brayden, but we don't think he should win.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Only 12% hopes Brayden wins the game.
Well, and Tara too, like with the whole underdog thing, like she's been fighting really hard, and I think that that's respected, and so I think that's why she's doing better in their eyes right now too.
All right, final question here: who do you think is going to win the game? Who do you think is going to win the game? Somebody just asked for the percentage of the last one. It's 37% Ty, 26% Tara, 24% Kiefer, and 12% Brayden. So who do you think is going to win the game in order of likelihood? What do you guys think?
I think Brayden's gonna win.
Yeah, I think Brayden's gonna win.
I think... Man.
I think Brayden and
on the final
Tara
three. Okay, I think that...
have 2 chances of winning at the final 2.
I think Tara's gonna win the final 3. So I think Tara's most likely, then Ty, then Brayden, then Kiefer.
The audience thinks Ty is the most likely person to win the game, followed very closely by Brayden, 37 to 33%.
I can see it.
Then Tara in third place with 19% of the vote, and 10% of the voters still think that Kiefer has a shot here.
I think Kiefer has a shot.
I think that Tara's going to win the final 3.
I don't think Kiefer's a good enough player to maximize the chance.
I don't know. I feel like that's her story.
What the fuck?
Certainly could be. I mean,
but like, or is that who am I going all in on Tara? Is that?
I know. What are we? Yeah.
I've been all in on Tara. It was bad for me before.
Yeah, I mean, how many people thought that Paris would win the final 3 HOH, competing against Kayla and Derek, right?
I thought there was absolutely no chance.
You know, it's and that was when things were capable of being a little bit more physical than they may be this season. So it's definitely possible. It's so close to me. I think that Brayden is the most likely person to be in the final 2. Does that mean that he's the most likely person to win? Not necessarily. I think that Tara definitely wins if she wins the final HOH. So each one of them has a different advantage, right? Brayden's the most likely person to be in the final 2. Tara's the most likely person to win if she wins the final 3 HOH. And Ty is the person who is guaranteed to be there along with Tara, but is more likely to be in the final 2 than Tara, but less likely to win in the final 2 than Tara. And then Kiefer, I think, is definitively last, just because he's, potentially already gone, and even if he's not, he still has to also win. So I think that there are, sort of advantages and disadvantages in every direction here. But if I had to choose, I would be with slim margins. I would probably say Brayden, Tara, Ty. But it's with very, very close margins. I don't think you can definitively say one over any other.
Who do you want to win, Taryn? What's your order? We get that from you.
Who are you going all in on in the stock watch?
Yeah, Taryn, give us your stock watch tips. No, just tell us the order that you want to win, just like we did.
I mean, like, if Kiefer managed to turn things around and convince Tara to keep him and then won the final 3 HOH, or maybe even convince somebody to take him to the final 2, I would be like, great job, Kiefer, like, congrats, man.
Wow.
But I've kind of been wanting Ty to win for a large portion of the season. It's been particularly frustrating watching him.
Like, I don't even care about gerrymandering at this point. I don't need a vote. I don't want it.
So that's been very frustrating, but I still would like, I think, to see Ty take this one home. I want to see the backstabbiness and cold-bloodedness. I want to see that rewarded. I don't want to see it punished, which is why I'm so frustrated that he's managing the jury so poorly. But it would definitely go in that direction. Tara or Brayden, I could take or leave either one of them. Personally, I think that they've both played pretty poor games. I think that Tara's played a slightly better game, but honestly, either way, I mean, I think that I like Brayden more so.
You got a better way
Oh,
up the
Jesus. Ouch.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's like, I would like to see Kiefer win because the fact that he's in the final 2 means that he must have really done a great job in these by convincing Tara to keep him and then winning. So I do think that is significant. But yeah, I do agree. Like I do really like Ty, and I've been wanting him to win, and I want the way that yeah. Exactly what you said. I'm concerned that if Brayden wins, the future is well, I want to play a Brayden game where I'm really well liked and I'm just friendly and fun. And I don't even have to worry because everyone likes me. Like, that's what I'm afraid is going to be the thing. It's like, oh, so we don't even have to play. Like, we can just, like, sit back and as long as we're nice and cool with everyone, like, we don't have to worry. And that's what I'm concerned about.
Hopefully, though, people will realize that, like, no, though. He's taken someone's spot and just, like, get rid of, like, floaters get rid of them in the beginning. That's always, I think, the strategy is because they take somebody's spot in the end and they haven't pissed anybody off. So I still think that they'll get rid of the floaters. I don't think that people want to go in with that strategy because it's just so obvious now, especially, that they need to go.
Yeah. Plus, I think the Ty storyline is so interesting. Like, where it's like Ty went from like just this like nice, sweet guy who we all were like, oh, this guy's just so nice. You like wouldn't want to hurt anybody. To like the villain of the season essentially. It's fantastic. I just love it. It's like he sees his best friend and his like potential girlfriend or whatever like get together, and then it's like he turns evil, and it's this whole thing. I just think it's so fun. I mean, obviously that's not why he turned evil, but you know what I mean. Like it's like, oh, they're betraying me.
But I do see that I got a couple new followers.
So I like that. I want to see that rewarded.
Yeah, I think in terms of the future direction of the show and sort of the message it sends, gameplay-wise, Brayden's the worst winner in that regard. But in terms of like raw gameplay, I really don't think he's that far below Tara. But it is what it is. I think it's been a great season so far. I think it would be a great way to cap the season off if Ty won. I think he would represent the season really well, both in his flaws and in his strengths.
No new subscribers, though, on the Marine Review Live channel, though.
The season as a product of entertainment. Part of what makes Big Brother great is that you don't always get what you want.
You never do.
You rarely get what you want.
It is the way that it is, and you can't change it, which makes the victories all the sweeter. So that's what we've got. Melissa, any final thoughts on the season before it ends?
This has been a whirlwind of a season, very fun. Such a
what's the level cap in this game? I'm assuming it's like 99 or something, right?
It just made for such a fun season. The fact that there weren't any, hands down above everybody else strategy players, like, made it actually better because everybody was kind of just like on the same playing field. Like, obviously I'd want 10 out of 10 players to have, like, I'd want everyone to be a 10 out of 10 player, but I'm glad at least if we're not going to have 10 out of 10 players, we don't just have one 10 out of 10 player and then everyone else like is down at the bottom. Everybody was kind of on an equal playing field, and from the start I had no idea where it was going to go. I had no idea what was going to happen. I mean, we saw, at the opening, like, oh, okay, the Sunsetters. Okay, they're a huge alliance. They're going to steamroll everything. Okay, great. What a boring season. Well, that's not the way it went. It kind of went all over the place. So it's been such a fun season. Really fun covering it. I'm really excited to see who wins. I think it's
pretty bad.
I have no idea what's going to happen, and that's the fun of it. So, I'm really looking forward to the finale.
What the fuck?
Chantal, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm just happy that there's finally like a good season of Big Brother. I've been kind of like, no matter what, I'm gonna watch it. I've been watching it since the beginning, so I'm always gonna be a fan. I'm always gonna be a super fan. I'm always gonna watch feeds. Like, I'm always gonna be up to date with what's going on. But this is the first season in a really long time that I'm like, I'm interested in Big Brother again. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I like this game. I like this show. Like, I like getting involved and kind of, even though I don't really have any burning interest in anybody particularly, as I usually do, but I think it's because, like you're saying, Melissa, that it's everybody's on the
that was pointless then.
And so I just feel as though it revitalized in me and probably a lot of other people their love for the game, and I think it's providing an opportunity for it to get even better and better years moving forward, whether it's US or Canada or even in the other iterations. So I'm happy for the direction of Big Brother. If this is how it's going, I'm loving seeing the diversity. I'm loving seeing like a new style of game that's kind of evolving, and I'm here for it. So I'm pleased that we got a good one. Even though they're bad players.
Yeah, and of course, as everyone knows, I'm the weirdo that enjoys all of the seasons. I've definitely enjoyed this one, and I particularly enjoy that other people are enjoying it and not complaining so much. So that has definitely made my life a little bit easier this season. So it has been really, really fun. It's definitely been nice to get a little bit of variety involved. As much as I can enjoy other kinds of seasons, it's definitely nice to have this kind of season back again, one where the power shifts and different people win different competitions. It should be worth noting, each of the Final Four has won 3 competitions. They've all won 3 competitions each, completely even. Compare that with like the end games of other seasons where one person, like Big Brother 20, Tyler, Casey, and Angela had won like 18 competitions combined, and the rest of the final 6 or 7 had won 2. We're looking at a season where there's an even chance of winning these competitions. It's really, really helped, I think. And so that is really again, the biggest takeaway. I really, really hope that Big Brother Canada takes a hard look at these competitions. I don't know that they did this on purpose. If I had to guess, I would say no. I would guess that they did this because of COVID restrictions. That was why they had so many question competitions and they didn't get to do their big fancy competitions. But it made for a much, much more dynamic season. So I'm very, very pleased with that. On top of just the casting, which was such a great foundation for the season. The players that they cast all wanted to play hard. Maybe they weren't the best players in the world. Could it have been a better season if they were better players? In my opinion, maybe. But it was a great season regardless, and they were all on a relatively even playing field, and they were all playing really hard, and I think that matters a lot. So it's been a great season to talk about. I definitely agree, Chantel, that we needed one. I literally was saying before the season started, Big Brother fans, they need a good season, and thankfully Big Brother Canada 9 has delivered. So that is what we have for you for the in-season, during the season roundtable. We will be back after the season ends, probably Tuesday next week or something along those lines, and we will be going over the entire season, rating all of the players based on who they are as players, not just where they are in the game. That should be interesting.
I feel like they're all going to be pretty low.
Yes, and going over all kinds of things.
Yeah, it's like my cast assessments going back and forth from mixes and power rankings, so it really is like...
So make sure you continue to tune into our coverage after the season ends. We will have one more roundtable for you, as well as I'm sure some exit interviews going over the games of some of the players here as well. So check in for all of that. You can also tune in Wednesday night for the Wednesday night recap of
I don't think I did this
episode of Big Brother Canada 9. On Thursday, I will go over Kiefer's game so long as he is not evicted on Wednesday. And then Thursday night, of course, the finale of Big Brother Canada will be live after the show to recap it. I'll be live during the show to watch it on Twitch, twitch.tv/Taryn Armstrong. I'll also probably be live at some point during the day. Maybe I'll be live tomorrow or sometime on Twitch. Talk about the Stock Watch. If you have any questions about the Stock Watch, how the finale works, I'll tell you quickly right now that you buy the person you think is going to win. If they win, they get the equivalent rating of a 10, which means if Brayden wins, you will get 160% return on your investment. If Tara wins, you will get 131%. If Ty wins, you will get 131%. If Kiefer wins, you will get 211% return on your investment. If they lose, if they are evicted in either 4th or 3rd place, then you get nothing. You lose everything. Everything you invested in them is gone. If they get 2nd place, they get the equivalent rating of a 1, which means that if Brayden gets 2nd place, you lose 51% of your investment. If Tara gets 2nd place, you lose 59% of your investment. And if Ty gets 2nd place, you lose 59% of your investment. Kiefer's not getting second place, let's be real. So that's how it works. You can also hold if you expect that only about a third or a fourth of the players who will be playing the stopwatch will go in.
Then we'll try to get to a save point or get to a... I guess it doesn't really matter though, if we get to a rest point or not. Yeah, we'll just end here. I think I'll do one more.
For your position in the game, depending on where you are, you may also want to hold. There's also, of course, the lifetime, all-time leaderboard. If you want to just hold on to any money that you've made this season, and then holding on to it is not a bad play there either. So that's Stockwatch. But if you have any more questions or you need any advice, I will be streaming on Twitch. Just make sure you're following me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong.
Yeah, for now,
you can also find me on Twitter @Armstrong.